We're going to have to do it. Okay. Welcome back. Day 11. We just had to compare our notes to make sure that we're on the right day. Last time we spoke was day 6. We were at Kings Canyon. We were sitting in the car park after Kathleen Springs, not doing the last little leg where we are now. So at the moment we are about 40 or 50k north of Coffs Harbour, sitting on the highway, travelling along. We decided to do 3 big days to do a bit of catch up so I can have a day at home. But we'll tell you about that in a moment. So where we picked up, or where we left off, was Kathleen Springs. We'd just finished doing the helicopter and the walk at Kings Canyon, and we were making our way to Uluru. So do you want to pick us up from Uluru, what we did next?
Well, when we went to Uluru, we drove into the Ayers Rock campground. We didn't have any bookings, so we stood in a big lineup.
Big lineup, 13 cars in a row.
It was pretty worrying, wondering where we were going to get a camp. I thought we might have been put into the area that was called the Overflow, but
I think they'd called ahead and they had said that.
No.
You don't need to book?
No, that was Kings Canyon.
Oh, right.
But getting into Uluru, because we've just got our car and a swag, we obviously were able to get a powered site right near where the bathrooms are, because everything I'd read about the Overflow was in a dirt area, was too far away from the bathrooms and the showers, and there was no power. So maybe that was the overload area for all the caravans, because there was heaps of camping ground for tents and smaller vehicles, I imagine.
Well, it would seem like it was going to be quite packed.
The camping ground was awesome.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be really packed. We waited in line for ages. I actually got a bit of work done. I think we would have been in line for 35, 40 minutes at least.
An hour.
Yeah.
An hour.
And then, as we said, we got in there and we were looking for campsite 2A.
Yes. But that wasn't even it.
It was lawn.
2A? It was lawn.
Lawn 1, campsite 2A stood
2A was 2 adults.
2 adults.
So you get to camp anywhere you like. As long as you're on the lawn, you just find a spot that's good for you. So we weren't really anywhere near. There were people around us, but we were not close at all. And it was lovely. The showers were really nice. The camp kitchen was amazing. And the people were beautiful too.
Yeah, so basically we got there, we had the time to just chill, have a quick shower. Not quite sure. But we basically set up our swag.
Yes.
Had a bite to eat.
Oh, then we went and watched the sunset.
And then straight down to the sunset.
Yes.
And just for the folks at home, Talia has spent the last at least 2 months researching every minute detail
reading
of this.
Reviews.
She had 2 different places to do the sunset viewing from.
Yeah.
We had to be there 90 minutes before.
Yeah. But the information that you get from the campground has got everything on it. It tells you where to go, what time, even you're getting your little permit to drive through, just to make sure that you're not sitting in a lineup at, sunrise.
Yeah.
You can get it online. We actually just lined up for it.
Well, I'm here to officially announce that I am grateful that my wife did so much research, because I can tell you it was like having a conductor. I had a tour conductor, a tour guide on my entire tour, and we drove in to the park. Yeah. We drove to the sunset, to the specific viewing.
Yeah.
We did a dry run to make sure we got the right spot.
Yes, but we also got out the table and the chairs, had dinner, while time-lapsing on the roof of the car with the iPad.
Well, hang on, let's just clarify. That was the iPad and the charger were on the roof. Yes. We were on the ground.
We were on cooking our barbecue hamburgers. It was nice.
And everybody thought we were gooses at the start, and about 5 minutes later they're like, oh, it smells good. So anyway, we did that. We time-lapsed. How was the view?
It was amazing. It's funny because you're watching it change and you can see the colours, but it's not until you watch your video back that you actually see a full like transition of from, you know, like the daylight into the sun going down into the rock, beautiful reds, and then it goes dull again. The sun's not gone down, so you sit there going, what else is going to happen? But then, as I always like to do, I love watching the sun set
100%.
on the horizon anyway. I mean, the rock was beautiful, but the sunset's always gorgeous.
So we are those people that the sun goes down.
We're still
we
sitting.
then turn around and we look the other way at the actual sunset. We watch all the colours, everyone drives off. There's about 2 people left, us and some other family. That was our first night. So then we go back. We basically jump in to bed. Had I think
showers, which was amazing.
I think we were pretty much right to go because we wanted to get up early the next morning.
Sunrise.
No, that's a lie. That was the morning after. We had a late morning the next morning because we then drove out to Katajuta the next morning.
No. We had our sunrise at the Ayers Rock.
Okay.
And because it was freezing.
Okay. And then from there we went to Katajuta.
No, that was our relaxed day that we just had back at the campground.
Okay.
You were doing work because we've got full internet coverage, of course.
Okay.
Then the next day.
Cruisy afternoon. Okay, but what we then did in that afternoon, you're right, because in the afternoon we watched sunset Katajuta.
Yes, that's right.
Katajuta is the Olgas, and to be honest, that rivaled it. I think if we had a better spot, and maybe not in as cranky a mood because we were a bit hungry, it would have actually been as good. So that was the second night.
Yes.
Yep. Then we made our way back again.
In the morning, we got up early and we went and watched the sun. Well, it wasn't really a sunrise because we went straight to the Valley of the Winds.
Well, hang on, just slow up. It was pretty cold. I'm not going to lie, it was pretty cold.
-2.
We went there and it was, I think, 1 or 2 degrees when we left the campsite, but it dropped down to -5 when we got out of the car. So we were like, this is shit. Went out for the walk to the Valley of the Winds at Katajuta, which is the Olgas. That was cold.
It was freezing. But it's a 7.4k walk, and it does say it's rocky. Yes, it's rocky. It also has, like, the pathway's not visible at the start, so we went a little bit off track.
That's correct.
Tiny little bit. But then we found the track again.
It's not called the Valley of the Calm or the Valley of the Warm or the Valley of the Chill. Oh, it should be called Valley of the Chill. It was freezing.
And
very, not fun.
Very, very windy. Maybe where the rocks are split in 2 and there's like a massive tunnel.
Yeah, look, it was called Valley of the Wind for a reason. Interesting fact, Katajuta is actually higher than Uluru. Uluru goes up to 340-ish metres above the ground. But Katajuta at its highest point is 560 metres or something like that. So it's pretty spectacular. And in fact, just before the sunrise the previous afternoon, we actually went for a quick walk up to them just to have a look.
Sunset.
Yeah, sunset, should I say.
Yeah, that was at Walper Gorge.
Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah, before that sunset. Before that sunset, we went for a quick walk.
Yes.
And it was just ridiculous. So, anyway, so that was the morning, Valley of the Wind. That was about a 7.5k hike. Then what did we do next?
Then we got in the car and drove back, which I think is 50 k's difference, back into Uluru, and we were going on the base walk.
No, we weren't. We were going on the base push bike ride.
Thought we were going on the base push bike ride.
Yes.
But because Chris was sitting there and we were booking it as we were chatting to the man's like, but we're booked out today and there's no bikes available. But Chris is like, no, I found a bike and it's 12 o'clock and we can book it. And he goes, the man that owns the bike is like, yep. If you can book it, press book now. Then we realised we were booking the next day.
Yes.
not the day we were there.
So let me give you some advice. If you're going to ride on the push bikes, maybe a week beforehand, book time in a day.
Book it because it's very busy.
And here's the most expensive reason why. It was $60 each. And if you book and then want a refund within 48 hours, actually, you can't even get a refund within 48 hours. If it's more than 48 hours, then you get up to a 75% refund. So I get nothing. So it cost me $120 to walk around the rock. But it doesn't matter because, to be honest, we actually preferred that.
Yeah.
So the walk.
We were going to get the push bikes for the experience.
Yeah.
And
I can tell
we were short on time again because we wanted to make it a bit faster than our 10K walk.
And I can tell you, you would have come to shit. You would have fallen off, or I would have fallen off.
Someone
One
would
of us
have.
would have had a guts up because we were so
It was
busy.
sandy and people are everywhere, but it's the sand and the bicycles.
So the walk, it's 10.9 kilometres from the base of where they used to climb up around.
Yeah.
What we didn't realise is it's 2.4 kilometres from the cultural centre to that spot, and therefore it's 2.4 kilometres back. Now, if you add in the little sort of offshoot walks, the total length that we walked was how far?
15.9K.
Okay.
So we have a little joke with friends.
Yeah.
Because whenever we hike a lot, and whenever we go hiking,
it's another 300 metres.
we usually go, oh, we've got to go a little bit further, and our 10K walk usually ends up to be 25Ks.
Yeah.
So it's a little joke that happens to us all the time, so we thought it was quite funny. We were walking around this 10K track, which ended up by being 15.
Plus the 7.4 kilometre walk
In the
earlier.
morning.
So basically we did 23.5 kilometres.
But it was cold, and we had so much clothes on in the morning.
It was sweating.
I had 3 lots of socks on, so my feet are sore from rubbing in the shoes because it was a long walk.
It was.
But it was cold. But when you're walking around the rock, as long as you're in the sun, we're in July, and it did get to maybe 17 degrees.
Yeah.
So shirts off. It was lovely, but when you're in the shade again, it was cold.
Yeah, if you're going to walk at that time of the year, the suggestion would be just don't have a heavy jacket, just have a whole bunch of different light jumpers, because you can just strip them off and just tie them around your waist. That's what we did. Interesting other point on the walk, it's about, as a guess, gosh, I'd say 40% of it you're not really supposed to film. So there's quite a bit of walking where you can enjoy it, but you're actually, you can do what you want. We're not here to tell you what to do, but we didn't record it because it's considered to be a sacred site, and there's signs saying not to record it, so we didn't. So basically, of the 10.9 kilometres, there's sort of 40% of that, so 4.5, 5K, where you're just watching while you're walking, which is cool. It's just a bit of
it was really stunning. So, not really sure why that side of the rock. When we went on the Mala walk with the ranger guide, he would say that it was things that he couldn't say. Also, it was a secret. It's their culture.
Well, that's another good point, actually. So let's just go back a day. Was it a day? One day?
Yeah, one day before.
One day. So what we did, we heard that at 10 a.m. there was a walk, which is really cool.
At the Mala car park. So that it says it on your map that you get from the campground. It's an 8:30 a.m. meeting at the Mala car park, which is the old walk that used to go up the Uluru.
Yep.
8:30 or 10 a.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m.'s fine, unless of course it's probably a hotter sort of day. Maybe then the 8:30 might work better. But the reason why we both loved it was because I don't know what your reasons are for going to the rock, but our reasons were really just for the experience, to see something which is really a national treasure. And I didn't have it on a bucket list to walk up. Never ever have, and it's not for any other reason other than probably I've never really historically been fond of heights, but I would do it these days. But for us, we knew that the Indigenous population didn't weren't really supportive of the walk up, so we were kind of happy not to. But when we got there, it was really cool because the guide explained a lot more around the reasons why, for example, men and women don't necessarily talk about each other's business, and it's got a lot to do with the fact that the stories are actually they're being passed down for them and them only. So the stories that are told by the people in that area, they're almost like their what do they describe it as? Their inheritance. So they know that it's something special, and we respected the fact that there was a part there that was it was a women's area, and it was a sacred site for women. And the man who was giving the guide actually said to us, "Don't even ask me. I won't talk about it. I might know, but it's none of my business." And I thought that was pretty cool because what he gave was an insight into respect, and that's a key element for those guys. So I highly recommend you do it. It's free. It takes an hour and a half, 2 hours ish. It's not a long walk. It's only 2 or 3K tops. Very well worth it to get some of the backstory as to the issues that they face. Now the fact that they're trying to work together, which we think is awesome. So we definitely recommend that. So that was day 2. Coming sort of back to the walk itself, you're never going to have the experience, and you're never going to do the walk justice by explaining it on a video like this. I would just recommend go. If you can drive. If you can stay in the campground, stay there. You can't camp anywhere else, so that's your only option. But support the local people, I suppose, would be what I would say. So yeah, that was the walk. Anything else you wanted to say about the walk?
No, that was about it actually. And we knew we had to get back to camp, and we needed to then do some more like big kilometres. Before you go into then, so we got back to the camp. Had some bits and pieces to do. I had a bit of sort of work to finalise off to make sure we were all good. We were pretty much winding down, right? Because we knew that we were going to leave early. Even though we tried to get into bed early, I know I didn't sort of go to bed super early, but we wanted to be up at 3 because we knew we had some big kilometres. So go on. So we were wanting to be up and leave at 3 because we needed to get to Port Augusta. So this trip, unfortunately, was between 10 and 12 days was all we had. So it was driving all this way. It's more a driving holiday for us. So we did 3 days first to get to Uluru, and they were big kilometres for 4 days.
Actually 5
because we stayed in Alice Springs an extra day. But then we needed to get back, so we needed to go from Uluru to Port Augusta, which was 1,300 kilometres.
Well, just on that point, we wanted to come back. We talked about it. We realised that if we got back to the Gold Coast, which is what's happening now, and we went back to work the next day, we would just be screwed. So we thought, you know what, let's get a day. We were going to have 12 days, so we're getting back to 9 on day 11, so we can just kind of chill. I'm pretty sure we'll just sleep and I'll do a bit of work and that'll be about it tomorrow. But that meant that we had to take 4.5 days of the travel and put it into 3 days. So Port Augusta was 1,300 kilometres.
Yes, so we stayed at what was the name? Discovery Parks, which was beautiful. Got up, didn't really see. Oh, actually, we did see a little bit in the morning because the sun was rising, and they've got these Lake Eyre, which is a salt lake, and we weren't sure if it was salt, but actually think that the pictures might have been just ice over because it was -1 again. Then we came through the Flinders Ranges, which was so pretty, and it was cold, but beautiful countryside. We actually said that we'd like to go back and spend a bit of time when it's warmer and maybe do some hikes and camping. Beautiful countryside.
So the next morning was when we saw the salt. So we got to Port Augusta that night. In the morning we got up. We left a little bit later. The cool thing was that was only the second time we'd actually slept inside. Yes. So the first time we slept inside was Longreach, which was on day 1.
And that was because it was raining.
And this is the second, because we just knew that we needed to get there at night time. We didn't want to pack up and put it up in the night time. So us sleeping in a bed that night, it was like,
and a
so
shower.
good. Having a shower.
Nice.
I had 3 showers in one day.
Yeah.
So we got up, we went from Port Augusta to where?
Port Augusta to
Gee, let me think about that for a second. We went across, so we went to Dubbo.
Oh, Dubbo, that's
Dubbo?
right.
Did you
Yes.
make it all the way to
Yeah.
Dubbo? That's right. It was a big day.
We
That's
were in
right.
Dubbo this morning.
Yeah, we left. We did 2 big days deliberately. That was 1,200 kilometres.
Yes.
So that we could just chill today.
Yeah,
I mean, look at us.
We stayed
chilling.
at another motel.
Driving with the lights on at night time on the way
Yeah.
home. But today's short. So sorry, go back. Stayed at a motel.
Stayed at a motel in Dubbo, which was lovely. Again, not putting the swag up. It's just really just to get home now.
Shout out to Matilda Motoring. You guys are awesome.
Yes. And then we've left Dubbo this morning. We had a bit more of a sleep in, so it was 7 a.m. when we woke up. Got up. We knew this was a short day. This was only 837 Ks.
Yes, very
back to
short.
home. So
Got to go to my hometown, which will be another entire different video, I reckon.
we've passed through Uralla, where Chris is from, just to see his old house and old stomping ground. Then Armadale, which was beautiful, just to see some old memories. And then we've come down the Dorrigo over to Coffs Harbour, which we've just left just now.
Yeah.
We're on our way home, and we've got 253 Ks to go.
And then that'll be the end of our epic 11-day adventure. So we will have more videos coming up. We'll break them down. So there'll be probably the first hike is Kings Canyon. We'll have a whole bunch of different sort of separate ones. We really hope you enjoy. So if you are interested in watching more of our stuff, please like the channel and subscribe. Please share with your friends.
Yeah.
And that's it for us, signing out.